Welcome back to WC Garage. We're here with my friends Infinity. We're going to be installing the Z1 hose kit as well as the little aluminum bleeder port on his. So with that, let's get started. Hopefully I can squeeze that out without having to take off the throttle body, but we shall see. So what I'm going to use this to my advantage. I'm going to squeeze this under and leave this unplugged. So I'll use the pliers here. Alright, so looks like this is resting here. We'll remove this. Sorry, I'm gonna have to pry it off of here and remove, or actually we can just remove that 10mm, move this out of the way. Alright, so we're gonna release this 10mm. Alright, there we go. Now that that's out the way, should be able to remove there we go. There. Alright, oh yeah, there she flows. This can pass under the sensor wire. Alright, so now to see if I can reach this back part without taking off. There we go. Alright, so we got lucky. Now we're going to transfer these over. So let's see. Squiggle. Alright. Let's see if I can get this back half on. I did already put a little bit of lubricant on the ends of these silicone hoses to make it easy to mount. Alright, hold on. Alright, see if I can fit the pliers again. And there we go. Alright, the back hose is on. Now we get the clamp for the front. We'll slide that on here. So now that we got the clamp on, we gotta run the hose under this cable. Alright. there, and we will place there we go. Now, see if I can whoop. Alright, so this clamp wants to fight us. There we go. Alright, and make sure this hose sits. Good. Nice and flush. So this side is on. Now we can pull this out, plug the throttle body back in, and this is going to be a little bit difficult part of realigning this. And there goes the bolt. I'll be right back. Alright, after a few tries, we got the bolt in and we got it started. So we're securing the bracket again. The valve, it does secure into the valve cover, which is plastic. So please do be wary of not over tightening something on plastic. And there we go. Bracket's secure, connected, and now we just gotta put the intake on. Right, so we're gonna get the intake mounted back. Alright. Alright, now that the intake's back on, we're going to plug in the mass airflow sensor, and that takes care of the passenger side onto the driver's side. So for this side, it connects from here, runs across into the firewall. I did have to take that out before when I did the valve covers, so should be easy to remove. However, I'm going to try to position this in a way that I can easily assemble it. Now these are those preloaded springs. Supposedly you take a screwdriver and pop them free and they're supposed to clamp down. And it never really works out the way it's intended, so we'll see how that goes. Alright. So if this is mounted in there, yep, the bleeder's facing up. And let's see how well this works. And yeah, not really working out the way it's supposed to. Yeah, no. There we go. Alright. Wow, that's sideways. Alright. Just readjust this. There we go. Alright, so now that one sits there, and this end should be like this. Alright, so that means this one goes. Alright, so we'll just use the clamps. There we go. Alright, so that's more or less how it should be. Now let's get these clamps out. Let me remove this hose real quick just to make space. goes the vacuum for the, I think, the brake booster. Alright, now that that's there, we can actually get to the clamp and slide it up. There goes the coolant. And back here. Pull these off. Alright, so alright, hose is out. So we'll transfer the old clamps. These are actually good as well, so we'll take these off and save them. Now, let's get this clamp off. Place it on this end. And the back clamp. And this end. There we go. So this should drop in, and I should be able to slide this hose back. There we go. Alright, so now that the new hose is in, I'm going to clamp this end first onto the main pipe. Hopefully that doesn't keep falling down. And alright, not as easy as I thought. Alright, so that end keeps falling in. I'll take care of that in a minute. Let's see if I can get this back half on nicely and quickly. Alright. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that's not moving. Now, thing's kind of long, but there we go. Now it comes up to where it should be. And what I'm going to do is actually move this clamp upwards on the hose. There we go. Now I can slide this hose on. There it goes. So now that's on. This back hose is flush. The other hose also flush. Yep. So now we slowly work this clamp down. I'm gonna try to use the screwdriver to help push this clamp down. Alright, guess that screwdriver's not going to work. Oh, almost. It's that little edge. fuel line being in the way is not helping too much. Alright, let's try again. Alright, so I was able to get the clamp on. Now to get it on, I slid the clamp all the way to the very end of the hose, and with the pliers I held it open and then kind of just pushed down on the hose and the clamp at the same time. I was able to get it to sit on. Now I just gotta slowly feed the hose all the way down onto the pipe. There we go. Alright, so now that hose has been seated. So now we can move the fuel line back and reinstall this hose. You grab me the silicone. No, please. Alright. I'm not sure if this will stay. Again, it seems like it's so old that it won't, but just a hair of grease. There we go. Now, there we go. So now the Z1 hoses are installed. We will be bleeding the system out. We'll do that in just a moment. So now we're going to bleed the system out. If you're wondering, if you do get the same part from Z1, it is a 5mm, and it does have a little O-ring underneath, which will be put there. My friend's going to fill his car up with distilled water. We're using distilled water because we still have other hoses that we have to replace. We don't want to have to keep wasting coolant, so it'll just be easier that way instead of wasting coolant. So, all right, while that fills, hopefully it bleeds the air properly. There, you can hear it bubbling. Keep going. Oh, it's filled up there. Okay. All right. So let's cap this real quick, and we'll put the cap on the radiator. Go ahead and start the car, and I'm only gonna put that finger tight. Okay. See if it bleeds. Interesting. Trying to backflow. Give it a moment. It backflowed a little bit. Interesting. Go ahead and shut it off real quick. Well, now that we turned it off, the water level went down. Go ahead and add some water to it this time, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep that closed when you start the car. I'll leave this open so air bleeds out. That's it.
It's going down.
Yeah, it's going down little by little. It could be because of this line right here. Go ahead, add a little bit more.
This is more like a stock line and clamp.
We might have to get that radiator funnel kit. Yeah, let's get the bleeder kit funnel. We'll be back. Alright, so we got a radiator kit here for the car. Go ahead and start filling that. There we go. Fill that up to about halfway. Alright, that's good. Alright, so now that this bled out air, I'm going to close here. There we go. Alright, go ahead and start the car. And this should allow any air to come out of the system. Open that slightly, make sure air actually got out of it now that it's running. Alright, there we go. All the air bubbles are coming out. Bubbles. And now it's a patience game, waiting for it to blow out all the air. Once it's done letting out air, I'll be back. Alright, so as we can see, it finally stopped bubbling out air. We're going to go ahead and close this up. Ooh, water's getting hot. Alright, so now we'll close this. Now that that's there and closed, we'll let it run a moment. The water is heating up. Alright. So it seems air is finally out of the system. So we'll go ahead and go ahead and turn the car off. Alright. No bubbles up either. Alright, so we'll plug. Alright, hold on to this for me a second. There we go. Original radiator cap on. These can go over here, and the excess I put the nozzle in and then just pull the handle. There we go. That's it. You can use the distilled water again later. And there it is. Heater hose are changed.